Malaysia, a country home to over 31 million people, people of different cultures, race, and religion. Malaysia first achieved independence on 31st of August 1957. Back then, there was no such thing as marginalization. Everyone, no matter the race, religion, or culture, were left behind. Great times indeed back in the day. Fast forward 2000 to 2016, marginalization has become the main issue among minorities in Malaysia today. The Indians and Chinese claim they are also being marginalized, which again the government, including the sole Indian and Chinese cabinet minister, has denied. The real issue here is marginalization, which keeps coming up and every now and then. So what is it actually? What is marginalization? Is it true that certain communities in the country are being marginalized? The Oxford Dictionary defines marginalization as 1. Relating to or a situation at or in a margin. 2. Of minor importance. Therefore, we can say, when we say a community is marginalized, it means it is pushed to the periphery and given minor importance. In accordance with this definition, we can safely say marginalization is it's a universal practice of the majority against the minority. In a truly democratic state, the minorities are protected by law against blatant abuses and discrimination against them. The ruling majority is entrusted to ensure that the minorities are really protected. The political system, the judiciary, police and armed forces are in place to ensure that the rights of the minorities are protected in accordance with the laws of the country. This is practiced more satisfactorily in the most democratic nations of the West as compared to developing and underdeveloped nations. Do we, as the minority normally and non-Muslim communities, enjoy this protection from the government agencies? Year in and year out, delegates at the UMNO General Assembly make seditious speeches and instigating remarks against the minorities. The enforcement authorities seem to close one eye against the seditious acts. For example, why can't all races sit for the same common exam? Every year we see numerous non-Malay students with maximum results in STPM exam being blatantly denied places in public universities for critical courses like medicine, pharmacy, dentistry, law, and engineering. Many of these students are from extremely poor financial background. Scholarships are not awarded to them based on merit, as claimed. What do we expect them to do? Can we blame them if they resort to criminal activities to earn a living? The vast majority of non-Malay students, including the brilliant ones from poor families, are forced to further their education in private institutions with questionable credentials at exorbitant costs, often amounting to hundreds of thousands of ringgit. Many poor parents have to mortgage their houses and properties to finance them. Highly precious EPF savings, their employee provident funds, are utilized, leaving their parents at the mercy of their children at the twilight of their lives. No one would open up this issue in the general public. That is until this highly respected man came along.
Right now, they're going through a transition after decades of repressive government. They're trying to open things up and make the country more democratic, and that's a very courageous process that they're going through. But the danger, now that they're democratizing, is that there are different ethnic groups and different religions inside of Myanmar, and if people start organizing politically around their religious identity or around their ethnic identity as opposed to organizing around principles of justice and rule of law and democracy, then you can actually start seeing conflicts inside those countries that could move Myanmar in a very bad direction. In particular, you've got a Muslim minority inside of Myanmar right now that the broader population has historically looked down upon and whose rights are not fully being protected. Now, that's not unique to Myanmar, right? Here in Malaysia, this is a majority Muslim country. So then there are times where those who are non-Muslims find themselves perhaps being disadvantaged or experiencing hostility. In the United States, obviously, historically, the biggest conflicts arose around race. And we had to fight a civil war, and we had to have a civil rights movement over the course of generations until I could stand before you as a president of African descent. But of course, you know, the job's not done. There's still discrimination and prejudice and ethnic conflict inside the United States that we have to be vigilant against. So my point is, all of us have within us biases and prejudices of people who are not like us, or were not raised in the same faith, or come from a different ethnic background. But the world is shrinking. It's getting smaller. You could think that way when we were all living separately in villages and tribes, and we didn't have contact with each other. We now have the internet and smartphones, and our cultures are all colliding. The world has gotten smaller. And no country is going to succeed if a part of its population is put on the sidelines because they're discriminated against. Malaysia won't succeed if non-Muslims don't have opportunity. Myanmar won't succeed if the Muslim population is oppressed. No society is going to succeed if half your population, meaning women, aren't getting the same education and employment opportunities as men. So I think the key point for all of you, especially as young people, is you should embrace your culture. You should be proud of who you are and your background, and you should appreciate the differences in language and food, and how you worship God is going to be different. And those are things that you should be proud of. But it shouldn't be a tool to look down on somebody else. It shouldn't be a reason to discriminate. And you have to make sure that you are speaking out against that in your daily life, and as you emerge as leaders, you should be on the side of politics that brings people together rather than drives them apart. That is the most important thing for this generation. And part of the way to do that is to be able to stand in other people's shoes and see through their eyes. Almost every religion has within it the basic principle that I, as a Christian, understand from the teachings of Jesus. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Treat people the way you want to be treated. And if you're not doing that, and if society is not respecting that basic principle, then we're going backwards instead of going forward.
As you seen in the video just now, I couldn't agree more what President Obama said. So yeah, even kind of sad that even the President of the United States of America knows what is going on here in Malaysia, and for him to come all the way here and tell that issue in the general public like that, it's kind of embarrassing to know. So what you're hearing from me now is all from my heart. It's not scripted, it's not fake feelings, it's all real. I am very sad to see this country in the state it is in. What do I expect of the future if this keeps going along? It's hard for me to say, but I'm very sorry, but I expect this country to go down the drain in the future if this keeps going on. Many people are saying it, so what's there to hide? This is all I have got to say about this issue. What about you? Do you agree or don't you?